everybody, today I'm participating in a collaboration with some other YouTube artists that I'll talk about in a minute, but I wanted to show you first the final product of what I'm creating today. We wanted to go for a fall theme and something positive and hopeful, and I feel like this paper pack from Erin Reed is exactly what I needed for this project. So this is a little gift card holder here. The sentiment here says "Together Apart," which I love in this day and age. I think this would be a nice gift to give to a friend or a family member that you're social distancing from, so you don't get to see them as much as you would like. And then this pulls out. There's a gift card right there, and when they take the gift card out, they'll see this little message that says "COVID Warrior." I think this is So I wanted to start by going over the supplies I'll be using. I got this die set from Spellbinders. It makes those really cute holders with, and it makes them look like a bag. There's this fringe element that cuts fringe that you can turn into a tassel. I won't be using that today, but it's a super cute gift card holder. I am going back to my roots, and I'm going to be doing some distressing, and I'll be using this Tim Holtz tool. For those of you who've never used it, it's got like a razor in there, and you drag it along the edge of paper, and it distresses it. I have this die set from Simon Says Stamp. I'm not going to be using that maple leaf though. I'll be using leaf die cut. And then this is what I'm really excited about. One of the creators who is participating in this collaboration makes digital elements for scrapbooking, card making, all of that. And I just absolutely loved the set that she shared with me, and I'm so glad she did. It has these really great sentiments in it: stay safe, COVID-19, social distance, stay positive, together apart. I really love the together apart. COVID warrior, inhale confidence, exhale doubt. It's a super positive set, and I just loved it. A couple of things I did. So I scaled down, this should be an 8x10 piece of paper, and I scaled it down to something a little bit smaller, and that way the design was scaled more appropriately for the smaller project versus like a scrapbooking project. The other thing that I did is I recolored the sentiments, and since I'm doing everything in kind of muted colors, I didn't really want my sentiment to be in black, so I recolored those. The other thing I'll be using is this paper pad from Heidi Swap. I'll just be using a few different sheets in this. And then I'll be doing some distressing. So I've got distress inks, both oxide inks and regular distress inks. I'll go over the colors as I'm using it. Let's get started. I'm going to start with my die cutting. I am going to start by cutting out this leaf from this Paper Tray Ink Melonberry cardstock. I'm going to cut the center piece. So this is the element that will pull out of the gift bag. I'm going to cut that in this Paper Tray Ink cardstock. This will be the tissue paper, and this is going to be the outer bag. So I'm going to go ahead and get my items cut out, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got all of my die cuts here, and I cut this piece as well, and I'm going to start by distressing all of these using these Distress Oxide ink and regular Distress ink, and going on that. And while I'm doing that, I wanted to talk a little bit about the YouTube collaboration we're doing. This was all organized by Crystal Faye Prosser. She's an amazing artist. There's about 6 of us in this particular YouTube collaboration group, and we decided that we really wanted our theme to be something hopeful and upbeat and happy, because there's just a lot of things right now that are causing a lot of people stress. Everything from COVID to political discord, all of that. This, by the way, is Distress Ink Spiced Marmalade. And now I'm going to go back with Distress Oxide Ground Espresso and just darken up the edges just a little bit more. So we decided that we wanted something hopeful and happy during this time, and considering that we're just moving into the fall season, we decided that we would either do a fall themed project or even something related to COVID, hence the wrong color, hence the cute and awesome digital products that Erin Reed created and shared with us. I'll link to that. That'll be the first thing I link below. I really suggest you go check those out. I think they're cool. So, all right, I think I'm going to do a little bit more orange on here. And I do want to keep that nice light color in the center, but I want to distress the edges a little bit more. Okay, I think that's looking good. Okay, for these, this is the main pocket that makes the outer of the little gift bag design. And I'm going to go ahead and fold over these lines where they're scored so that I can make sure I'm distressing right along the edge that people will see. Because the color does tend to get a little bit darker there. I do want to say that when you're doing a project like this, it's a good idea if you think you're going to do distressing, to make sure that you do your distressing before you start gluing pieces together. Ask me how I know that. So yeah, I'm really excited about this collaboration. I hope you go check everybody out. Hopefully you'll be introduced to some great collaborators or creators who are new to you, and get some new different ideas. These are the tissue paper that pokes out the top, and I think I'm going to go ahead and fold them along the square lines before I do any distressing. That way I can get some variation and some interest along those lines. Again, on this one I'm taking peacock feathers, and I'm going to distress it, and then I'm also going to try to color the back a little bit. Some of that back is going to show at points because they'll be folded in over themselves, and I want to make sure that it doesn't look white. Here, I want a little bit more color around the edges, going just a little bit deeper. So I'm going to go ahead and do another layer, both of these colors here. That is true, I'm mixing Distress Oxide inks with regular Distress inks, and that's perfectly okay as far as I'm concerned. That might be breaking a rule for some people, but I don't think so. If it works, it works, yeah. Go ahead and cut out my sentiment. I've got two, one that's going to be on the inside and kind of hidden behind the gift card that will be placed inside. And the other one I'm going to use is this Together Apart. I just really love that sentiment. And what I'm going to do, I'm not going to be super particular here, I'm going to cut that out and kind of leave some edges around the color. ahead and use this tool to distress the edges before I use ink distressing. In hindsight, since this has the black on it, I think I could have left these sentiments black. I probably did not need to change the colors on these. I was thinking that black would be maybe a little harsh for the vibe I was going for, but I think it actually would have been just fine. I'm going to go over these now with a little bit of brown espresso. Just darken the page, just to read it. Okay, so at this point I'm ready to start gluing things down and carrying them down. I'm going to start with this pocket here, and I'm going to glue the side and the bottom first and leave the third side until I've got these nicely glued down. I like to use liquid glue for this because it gives you some time to move them around and make sure that you've got them lined up nicely. But I have done this with score tape, and that seems to work well, just as well. You just need to make sure that you're giving yourself time to get it lined up here. So, alright. And this bottom part can be a little bit tricky because it's got two folds, one on each side. Looks like I've got it pretty well lined up here. I'm just going to give that a minute to dry. While that's drying, before I do the third side, I'm going to take out this piece. This is the piece that the actual card will go on, and I just realized that I did not cut out the little doobly bobs here, these little tabs that hold the gift card in there. So I'm going to take this to my die cut machine. I have a piece of washi tape on here already, so I can get this down where I want it. And I'm going to take this and run that through the die cut. Okay, so I wanted to show you here. This is the tissue paper, and as you can see, the back is showing, but because I used that distress ink on the back, it's not going to show white. Now these fit into this little pocket here. Well, I probably should keep these out because depending on how I fold these. Silly dog. Okay. Now I like to use more than just one of these. Make it look nice and full. So I'm going to do that here. So I've got them all kind of laid out the way I want to do them. I'm going to put some scoring tape on the inside in here, one at a time. That scoring tape is important because this is what they use to pull out the gift card holder. So you do really want to make sure that it's on there nicely. And scoring tape is a nice strong adhesive. You don't have to use 3 on this. It's probably a little excessive, but I think it just looks nicer with the pieces pushing out on the side. An option would be to do the top one and then do a second piece that you cut in half and have part of it hang out here and part of it hang out there. I think that would probably be a better idea. Okay, so one of the things I want to do is put this here so that there's just a little bit of a hello and a little note when they take the gift card off. So I'm going to adhere that down. Okay, that's done. So we'll go back to the outer bag and finish putting that together. I'm going to glue this third side, just putting a little strip of glue right here. Make sure you have it right side up. The pocket should be on the top. Go ahead and get this glued down. A little bit more contrast between this and what's behind it. You might even get out black soot. Try this. There we go. That's doing a much better job of what I want. So I'm going to add a few of these enamel dots. These are from this company, Now and Then. And I really like these gold ones as well as these turquoise. So I'm going to give those a go here. And here's my final product. We have this nice cute little gift bag here, and it says together apart. Let's pull this out. Gift cards right there inside. Pull that off. There's a surprise little sentiment right there, COVID Warrior. I had so much fun making this, and I absolutely loved working with these digital elements from Erin Reed.